Okay, let's get back to it. Let's get a little hyped up first. All right. So now we're going to be talking about the Ukraine nuclear power plant. It's fucking crazy, man. I mean, I'm going to keep saying the same shit over and over again. Like, we're on the brink of some crazy ass shit happening in the world. It's like we're balancing on a tightrope, man. So let's get into it. So it says fears grow for Ukraine nuke plant ahead of inspector report. And this article is from the AP by Hannah Arerova. So fears mounted Tuesday over Europe's largest nuclear plant as shelling around it continued, a day after it was again knocked off Ukraine's electrical grid and put in the precarious position of relying on its own power to run its safety systems. Repeated warnings from world leaders that the fighting around the Zaporizhzhia plant could lead to a nuclear catastrophe have done little to stem the hostilities. Russian-installed officials accuse Ukrainian forces of shelling Enerhodar, the city where the plant is situated, hours after Ukrainians and Kremlin forces attacked a city across the river. The Ukrainian mayor of Enerhodar, Dmytro Orlov, reported a powerful blast in the city around midday. The explosion left the city of 53,000 cut off from its power and water supplies. It wasn't immediately clear what caused the blast. Both sides have traded accusations of attacks on this plant since Russian troops seized it early in the war. With the danger rising, a team from the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency finally traveled to the plant last week, and on Tuesday, inspectors were expected to report what they found with the UN Security Council. 2 inspectors remained at the plant, which is run by Ukrainian workers, and Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak applauded that decision. There are Russian troops now who don't understand what's happening, don't assess the risk correctly, Podolyak said. There's a number of our workers there who need some kind of protection, people from the international community standing by their side and telling Russian troops, don't touch these people, let them work. Okay, so I think it's kind of a microcosm of what's going on in the world right now. You know what I mean? Like, the balance of power is shifting, and the big players are trying to make sure they aren't left behind in this kind of geopolitical power grab that's going on right now. Like, the US is on the downslide. They're struggling, or I mean, the people obviously are struggling. I mean, the stock market doesn't mean shit except for corporations. The people are struggling. And on top of just the domestic stuff happening in the US that's making shit unstable here, in terms of foreign policy, I guess, and our deal, and when he did that kind of broadcast to the world that the US can't be reliable on the global stage anymore. It's scary, man. Like, a nuclear power plant going off could fucking destroy Europe, make it just straight up uninhabitable, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. We need to try to find ways to just fucking not even get our leaders in check, man. Like, the shit is just so fucked up nowadays that what we really need is just a fucking system reset, dude. Like, this is not it, you know? Putin is basically just a fucking, I mean, he's a thug, dude. Like, you have a population of millions and millions of people just run by a fucking KGB fucking, I guess, man, what's the word for it? By a fucking, by a company, man. You know what I mean? I mean that in the sense where it's like he's a career politician, a career government agent. You know what I mean? And he doesn't think about the world. I mean, he's just on a fucking power trip, dude. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? But all right, let's go ahead and get into the next article.